Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be continuing our base game refreshes. Last year I spent a bit of time refreshing some of the houses here in Oasis Springs, and the idea was it would still be base game, but we'd stick to the same budget and number of rooms roughly that the original house was, so we gave each of the base game builds a complete new version that was still in essence holding true to the original build. So with all that in mind, today we are here at Nookstone, one of the base game starter homes in Oasis Springs. Now it starts off with a value, it says 11,459. It is actually like about 13,459 because from the map you have to also pay for the lot value itself. But we're gonna be trying to target this value in this little box here, which is pretty tough. It's pretty low. And the first thing we're gonna do is have a look at the actual build. So first thing we can see is it's got very tall walls, which I don't know that I love. I never really loved the medium walls. I think they work better on bigger houses. I do think it makes this house look a little bit taller than it probably should. Around the front, we've also got smaller windows, and also around the back, not a lot of windows. Granted, this is in a desert, so maybe having less windows is preferable, but I think part of that is probably just the budget. A lot of original base game stuff was very expensive. These windows are 135 each, which might not sound like a lot, but these days, whenever they add new windows, like these are $25. Like, these are so cheap. And in fact, even cheaper technically than that would be our glass wall panels. I don't know that we'll use it in this build, but these are only $2, but we save money by not having an actual window and not having a wallpaper. So we also have that as an option. The rest of the build looks pretty standard. We got a bookcase and a TV, which is good, basic bathroom and a basic little bedroom. And the lighting is just terrible. In a lot of these original base game builds, the lighting is just so dark and dim because back then we didn't have this light and we didn't have this light. And pretty much all base game lights were like this. The only one that was kind of bright enough, is this one or this one, which would like light up the room enough. Other than that, most of them are either too expensive, don't match the style, or are just like a spotlight more than a large ambient light. Like this, you can see is just lighting up that little area, which is no good. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I think let's just go ahead and let's get out the excess furniture. I wanna keep just the basic like kitchen and stuff so I can keep an eye of like where the layout is. Like I don't wanna change the layout drastically, but let's get rid of the stuff I'm definitely not gonna keep, like lights and all that, because, well actually that light's not bad. This one is one of the ones I will always go to in base game for a wall light. Although interestingly, they've made it way less warm. But like I said, let's just strip it down to the basics. Also, this wallpaper, very high on the wall. I think someone that placed that didn't quite realize. So we're gonna get rid of that. In fact, I don't know if I'm gonna put this back because these are $50 each. They're way too expensive. And actually these doors as well, I believe. $300 door, that is way too much. We got 3 of them as well. We can save so much money by getting rid of those doors. Of course, we will have doors, but not those ones. Okay, so I'm just gonna get rid of all the lights. Let's just get these ones for now. So we have a nice bright overview of what we're working with. The second thing I think I'm gonna do is go ahead and get rid of these exterior lights. And I think this isn't that expensive, but I'm gonna get it out of the way because I feel like it's gonna get in the way. And get rid of that awning. Now, I don't mind these smaller windows at the front, but how much are these? $30? Actually, that's not that bad. I was gonna say we could go cheaper. Or maybe we just go a bigger window like this, because this is $25, so it's $5 cheaper, but it still, I think, would provide enough privacy if it's up high enough. So I think we'll probably do that. But I'm just gonna get rid of these for now, and these ones. I'm gonna lower the walls. What does it look like if we bring the walls down? You know what? I think that immediately looks so much better. I don't know if it's just me, but I think the whole balance of the build looks better. It looks like it makes more sense to me. The height isn't way out of whack. I also don't love the different wood tones that they've got going on here. I think we do need to do some wallpaper like differentiation, like so we don't want it all to be the same, because I don't want it all to be this, because I think that's way too much of the same, but I think those two together don't work particularly well. How much is this column, by the way? Oh, this is the cheapest one. Okay, all right, well, look, we'll leave it for now. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do, how much is this? $20? Let's get rid of these. They gotta go. They gotta go. If we got a budget of 11,500-ish, we can't afford that. Likewise, this footpath, it's gotta go. How much does this cost actually? $4? Look, it's not much, but it all adds up. Thankfully, we can just use terrain paint, add the same thing. I actually don't know if was this in the base game original release? Oh, that's annoying. It does not line up with a lot though. Okay. It might be better in that case just to do more of like a gravel rather than a stone path. Yeah, the gravel will definitely look better. Look, this might change anyway, just because I don't know if that's exactly how I'm gonna have the footpath, but for now, that's free. Great, we saved money. Okay, let's move. Before I do any windows or anything like that, let's figure out what's happening on the inside. I don't think this layout is bad because, I mean, the bedroom's there. We got a living room. I don't know if I love the living room being like that because this is such a big space. All we had here was a table. Like, I think this could probably also be the living room. And we could even do something like this. That's too many walls, but I'm just sort of playing around. I might need a wall there. Hang on. I don't know. Well, let's see what our budget gets to. I'm just going to paint it all the same walls and stuff for now. So what I was thinking is that could just become another bedroom. I know I said our goal is to keep the same number of bedrooms and all that. But look, if we have the same space, but we can get an extra bedroom in, like it kind of seems like we should, right? Because we definitely have room here to refit the kitchen and the dining area and a living space. So let's just see if we can even afford this. Because like, where are we at now? We're at 9,000, which means we only have 2,500 left to do everything else. So if I did this archway, it's $200, not super cheap, but then thankfully all these other doors are pretty cheap. So we could have a bedroom door there, then I would turn this into a bathroom door right there. And I actually don't need to reorganize that bathroom, though I may still do that. And then that means that this is actually now the bigger bedroom, which I think is probably better because then we can have larger windows out the back where there's going to be more privacy than if we had them right here onto the street. So I think that probably makes sense anyway. And that only cost me, what, basically $200 because I mean, I had to put the doors in, but not bad. Front door, I don't know if this, I mean, I do like this as a front door, but I don't know if that really suits. Whoops, dropped my mouse on the floor. Because I don't know if that really suits the mid-century vibe that these houses are, which is a shame because all the doors that kind of do are pretty expensive. We could do like one of these for $150. I don't know if I love those though. What about a secret bookcase door? No, what am I doing? No, get out of there. The other thing is we probably don't want a door that has got a lot of glass on it just because it opens right into the living room rather than a foyer. So I think that's where having a solid door makes sense. So maybe we do keep a similar door to what we actually had. Man, I wish these were the same width. I would love to put the little glass above the door there, but no, they're not the same. I guess we could use this door maybe. Does this have, it doesn't really match the style. All right, well for now, I'm just gonna do that door. I don't know if I'm gonna stay with this door and I haven't picked the colors yet. For now, we're just trying to figure out the layout. So that basically turns this area into like foyer, but it's obviously open. This is like the hallway zone. So we obviously don't want to have something right there. I am wondering if moving the kitchen to being along this wall makes more sense rather than having it wrap around the corner. Unfortunately, dining tables are pretty expensive. Although this is only $220 actually. It's actually not that bad. The colors and materials in here are not it. We're gonna come back to all that. For now, I'm just trying to get what we need, right? So we're at $10.99, pretty good. Don't worry about the colors. I'm wondering if this layout is gonna work for us. I think so, because then we can have a nice big door here that goes outside, which in this case would probably be, how much is this door? Oh, $50, easy. Yeah. Oh, this doesn't have the wooden, it's annoying. Wait, this is also $50. Oh, you know what? Never mind, I'll use this one. Because I wanted to match this wood, because we were using this kind of rich wood tone on some of our other base game refreshes here in Oasis Springs, so I think that sort of rich wood color I quite like. Oh, why do the windows not have it though? It's so annoying. I think these windows are the ones that have it. They're more expensive though, is obviously the problem. Okay, so we got about $1,000, but we obviously have a lot to do still. How much is it to add like a little section like this? $334. Although, hang on, no, not really, because we'll remove that wall there. So we went from 10,348, and that takes us to 10,472. It's not that much more to have that little extra section. The only reason I wanted to do that was to add a section of glass. It was just like that. I don't know, it just kind of seemed like a cool idea. I don't know if it is a cool idea. In fact, I think I need to make that window smaller. Or maybe not have a window there, maybe just that. I'm actually, hang on, let me flip the kitchen around. We do have a bunch of space here now though, which is odd. And this seems odd. Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Because I moved it here just because the TV was against a wall, but then that didn't really make sense because if I wanted to have another couch, which I don't think I'll do yet, but you know, if you wanted more living space, it wasn't really gonna work there. I think this would make more sense this way then, with the big window, right? And I want to rotate the table from this way to this way because it just seems like the chairs then were kind of sticking out into this walkway. See how that's like basically a hallway. But if we turn it this way, then they're not right in the hallway, right? So I think that just makes more sense too. So I think we'd probably do something like that, I guess. But in this case, I'm not gonna waste money on that couch. All right, let's change the floor because I think this floor is, oh, actually it's not that expensive. I thought it was more expensive. It's only $4, which is gonna be the same price as our wood anyway. Well, not that wood. I actually don't mind this beige color that they've got in here. I'm wondering if we can use that somehow, because I think it kind of makes it feel a little bit more earthy, like it's sort of is with the landscape, and then maybe if we mix that with some stone, give it a more mid-century feel as well. Although some of these are very expensive. This one's only $5, so maybe that one. Or is there any in masonry? Sometimes there is. Not really. All right, well, let's just have a look on the outside. So if I go to the outside, I think this section is probably the one that looks the best to be stone. I don't know if I want it to go all the way around though. I think maybe we'll end it at this roof line. If I make all this to the wood, although what's happening with this door? Because that doesn't really make sense, does it? Maybe we need a different paneling. Oh yeah, there's this one. Still not really given the same. Also, what is going on? Oh, that door's just, oh, the door is kind of like shiny. That's interesting. You know what? I don't know if I knew that. It almost looks like glass or something. Like it's really shiny. You know, I think it'd be better if we're going to use those wood doors to have the doors on stone and then have like the wood on a separate section. Now what's happening with this roof? I need to figure this out because it's not really working for me. So if I do a main roof like this where it's sort of dragged in from the edge, I'm going to duplicate this. Thankfully, roofs are free, so we don't need to worry about this. This one I'm going to drag all the way back so it just stops here at that wall edge. Then I'm going to duplicate this one again. This one's going to extend to the edge. This will be out of stone. And then problem is we want the, wait, maybe if I do it the other way around. The thing is we want this roof underneath because we want this wall here to be stone. But the problem is I think if this goes here, that will just override it, which maybe that's okay. Actually, yeah, this will work. So this is a separate roof underneath. I'm going to drag out so it lines up with that edge. Then the stone roof, I don't even know if I can select it anymore. Hang on, let me make that smaller. Okay, the stone roof then will just come out. It's actually going to come out to above the glass because we'll need to just do some flooring there as like a little roof. That's okay. And then this column will just drag up till it touches the roof. I don't know if I love this side profile. We'll have to see what we can do with that. But I think that at least makes it a little bit more visually interesting. And then I'm just going to get a flat floor tile section here, just pop it over that. And then that'll just create that little ceiling there so we don't have to see that. Now, I guess, what do we want to do here? Because I think something's not it. I think maybe what could be possible then, because like, yeah, looking at this is not it. What if we do, that's a lot of money though. That's all right, let me play around. I'm just seeing if we can break up the stone and the wood slightly differently. The problem is I would want to use that as a fireplace. So then maybe the kitchen needs to move again. Although I like where the kitchen is. And then we're kind of back to the problem of the door. Like I wanted to do the wooden door. I guess I could do the slightly darker color maybe. Yeah, I might even move the mailbox there. I don't know if I love that, but whatever. Okay, well then I guess we should make this the darker color too, just so it matches. Alrighty. Okay, well if that's the case then I'm pretty happy with that. We've got some stone there in the middle, which I think is okay. I don't know. It might look better on this section though, to be honest. Yeah. Maybe this whole side here should be that stone then. I just think it's a lot down the side there. But maybe with windows, we can figure it out. We can also do some of these, I think. What if we had just like large glass there? It's kind of interesting. And actually, hang on, what if I put this in between? I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that, but it's interesting. And I think that's what's cool about it. All right, let's do those same sort of privacy windows that are up high. I'm gonna have it not right there, because if you put it right there, well, it kind of looks good in this mode. When you go into this mode here, you can see it, like the ceiling actually cuts it off. So we're gonna lower it like a little bit below that. That's kind of annoyingly too low, but there's no other easy way to get it. Like I want it as high as possible, and for now we'll do that. Unfortunately, there's no wooden option though. Oh, that's so annoying. Whereas these ones do have it, but they're more expensive. And I'm really trying to penny pinch at this point. It is very frustrating that I didn't put those colors on these new windows. Well, they're not new anymore. It was like, what, a year ago or something? Because I have to spend $60 just to do that. Look, we can try it for now. I also think the other thing I would like to do, if I can afford it, is have this come out over the entrance. Thing is, columns are pretty expensive. Quite the same color, but try that. Well, the happy birthday come in the wood. All right, let's leave it for now. Okay, so we got about $500 to play with. And I think there's definitely ways I can still save money because I haven't really gone through all this stuff. So that's definitely the cheapest fridge and all that. Probably the cheapest kitchen. How much is this bookcase? It's only $175. We could get cheaper by just doing these though. So we can save money. All right, let's have a look at what's happening in these rooms, by the way, because something is not right. We've got the door there. I think, well, first of all, I think I need windows to the back because like, while those are nice, I think we need some windows looking out there to the little water river area. What if I just do like that? No, that's not gonna be good. No. I have to do a proper window here. It's a shame because it will cost me money. Wait, does this not? I was trying to match it to this door, but it doesn't have. Why doesn't it have the matching to this one? It's supposed to be this color, but they don't look the same. That costs way too much money though. Maybe we can do black, just because that'll. Well, these are all gray actually. Maybe can we do gray? I don't love gray, but just so everything kind of matches. Because I really need to save money, and these windows are getting expensive quick. I don't think the gray looks as nice, but it gets the job done, and we save a little bit of cash. Now, what am I doing at the back here? I was just trying to figure out the windows here. I think we actually have too much now, but the problem is if I do that, what is this going to look like on the side? I kind of like the symmetry of having the windows like that. I mean, maybe I can just do those. I didn't love that, but it saves a lot more money than doing windows. And at least it matches with that side there. Okay. Let's just do that. Moving inside again. They're using this concrete, which I don't mind. I think I might want to lighten it up. I don't love that sort of blue color concrete. In fact, how much does it save if I get rid of it out here? 50 bucks? You know what? I'll take it. I'm going to take that. I'll just put this down for free. Is that what I'm using at the front? Yeah, cool. Look, I'm not spending money if I don't have to. Now, this coffee table costs $60, whereas this costs $45. So what if we change it to like this console instead? And can we do like a rug using carpet, because it doesn't cost any more money. Problem is getting it to like fit a space is a little bit more difficult because it's obviously floor tiles. So I actually don't know if it's worth doing that. Because you probably want it like this. Oh, I guess we could just do this. Look, that's not terrible. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's not terrible. Bookcase options as well. This is $175. This kids one is actually cheaper. Now, call me crazy, but we could put a kid's bookcase in this room. And then we'll have hopefully enough money for a bed. Get rid of that one. So we still have a bookcase. Good. The thing is, if this is a single sim, well, actually, hang on. Yeah, that's a good point. Because the budget of this is what, 13,500. So as a single sim, you'll have about what, 3,000. No, wait, you'd have like 2,500 left once you move in. Wait, no, that's not right at all. What am I talking about? I'm thinking of Sims 3. In Sims 3, as a single sim, I think you had like 16,500. Sims 4, it's 20,000. So you have loads of money left over. So you could convert this. I think maybe in that case, maybe we just make this like a home office. Because yeah, if you had 2 Sims anyway, you'd have way more money. So you'd just change it. Probably wouldn't buy this house anyway. Let's just get the smaller lights. Because these lights are the cheapest and also just the best too. So, you know, other lights I guess give more like ambiance and make the place feel a little bit nicer with like more like lamps and all that. But we don't have money for lamps. Okay, go back to daytime. Let's fix up this dining table. I do think we do need some sort of rug. Or we need to do something with this space because, well, this dining table does not look great with this kit. Like this all just is not right. It's just not right. I actually don't mind this. I don't know if a darker kitchen is a good idea, but kind of like it. Actually, this is the paneling we used to have on the outside of the house. I do think it might work well in the kitchen. I'm kind of like that. Oh, wait, I put these in. I was like, oh yeah, we could probably get a few cabinets just to add a little bit to the house. But this immediately drove us over that $11,500 budget because these are $200 each. Way more expensive than I thought. I just thought it'd be nice, but rid of those. Now, I did spend a lot of money just doing this thing, which does nothing. I'm wondering if I get rid of this, and at least on this upper floor, if we use a half wall, it'll be cheaper. So, and then just to make sure that the roof doesn't clip through there, we just raise this section up in the middle. There you go. And then we'll do something with that later. Well, we don't have to do anything with it, but I mean, we can do, when you move in, you could do something. All right, let's do that. Trim on it. Actually, maybe it should be, oh no, I won't do, oh, I could do white so it matches the roof trim, which by the way, I don't love this roof texture. I think probably just that, even though a dark roof in the desert, probably not a great idea, but it looks better with this house, I think. All right, well, if this is gonna be like a little home office area, well, how much is the cheapest computer? It's $800. I mean, I wonder if we just like go a little over the original budget just so you could have a computer. Because most starter homes don't end up having a computer. Well, I mean, some do, but like a lot of them will run out of budget. But I mean, it's not that high above the budget that it'd also just be super useful to have a computer and a TV and a bookcase. Although having said that, I haven't done anything in the bedroom. And by the way, where is this bed even going? Because like the door is there. I kind of think the bed actually needs to be on this wall. But then you open it right into, that doesn't make any sense. I think it has to be here. It's just kind of weird because then you have all this space around the room. Look, ideally it would probably be here. But I've got that window that I wanted. Look, it's not a great layout, I'm gonna be honest. I do actually like using this beige color, like as like along this wall behind the bed. I kind of like that actually. Might do something similar in here, maybe just on that wall because that's the one you're gonna see. I kind of like that. Look, it does make it all brown, but I think it kind of matches the vibe of the house at least. I would do a single dining table, but I don't like it that it's square. And also, I think it's more expensive too. Yeah, so it's kind of annoying. I would like to do a smaller table, but we're kind of stuck with a larger one. Can't even fit the bedside tables in here without like move objects, which I will definitely use, thank you. What a beautiful beige room. Okay, let me get the stuff I need and then maybe we'll have a look at what we're doing with the budget. All right, well, we're currently 1,000 over. And actually, we don't even have a mirror anymore because I got rid of that in the bathroom, so I might add that back. Now, I guess, like I said, we don't have to completely stick to that budget. I just wanted to be as close as possible. And I don't know if being 1,000 over, I'm super comfortable with. But at the same time, if I remove anything, then we're not really, then we're just kind of making it worse. So I don't really just want to make the house worse. I mean, look, I guess I did technically add a bunch of walls in here and we added the computer. If I got rid of the computer, that pretty much gets us back to where we need to be. But I kind of like the idea of having that computer in here and actually having like a home office. But then maybe we just leave that up to you. Like we have that as like an office. So it's not like decorated as a bedroom, but we could have, well, an easel's still $350 actually. That's really expensive. Okay, maybe not. So we could put like an easel in there. Well, we could have it like this. Or then it's just like, well, if you just have a random desk in here, then why even? It's just a random desk. Because wait, how much does this cost? 50 plus 270. How much is a single bed at that point? 300. It'd be cheaper to decorate it as a bedroom than an office. And by decorate, I mean place a bed in there. It's not a very inspiring bedroom. I mean, neither is this one, to be fair. I think we'll just go with the home office angle. Now, is there any like cheap artwork that we can use? There's this one, actually, I saw recently. I think this one has like a really nice yeah, this one. I love this picture. I didn't realize this was in this artwork. How much is this? Because this is probably expensive. $300? But it adds a lot, doesn't it? Like, look how good that looks. I don't want to put this everywhere. I think we need what if we put it there? Or it could be on this wall. We just got a big blank wall over here, which I'm not sure. Oh, you know what we could do with that? I can do something else there. Okay, hang on. If you're playing like this, that is the wall you're going to see. Maybe this wall in here then. I mean, this is like an office. Seems like it'd be nice in the living room though, like there maybe. Okay, well, I was thinking with this wall, we could just do a different, you know, have a different texture. Could also just have a giant window. I don't know if I love that though. I think that's too much there. Maybe just like the different texture. So we're at $12,800. I could make the kitchen a little bit smaller. And how much does this save? $150? Like, I don't think it needs to be this long. Though then the question is like, we got extra space there. Also, does the dining table need to be like tucked in more with like the living space? So then this is more open. Because the other thing you could do is have like, you could probably fit an island in here somewhere. Not with this exact layout, but something like that. But I wonder, so this light here, how much is this? And how much are these? Oh, those are $140. I was gonna say, it could be cool to have like a spotlight over the dining table, but no. I just don't know if I love like when I look at it like this, like how everything is positioned. And also I haven't really done any colors. I think maybe I should just do more orange. I do like the blue. Well, there's always this wall. I do really like that color in this wall texture, which actually, hang on, this wall texture could be a little bit more interesting. We get the same sort of vibe with it, but it just has more texture to it. Yeah, and it's the same price, so it's like, I mean, it kind of makes sense to just do it. I think the texture just kind of adds, I don't know, it just makes it look more interesting. Now this color here, I've got this green, because I always like that green. What is the blue? Whoa, that blue, that's too blue. There's this one. We could do that. I don't know if that's too samey though. I do like that one. Well, in that case, maybe it's better just have the couch what it was, like a darker color. Or we do the lighter color couch like that. You know, I don't think I like it on that wall. Because if I put it over there, I think then at least when you're looking this way, it kind of looks interesting. And actually, should this be that color too? Yeah, maybe in there should be that color. Or maybe the door. What about that as well? Oh, actually, hang on. That might work. Hold up. Hold up. We might be getting somewhere now. Oh, so change the color of the kitchen because I thought that gray was not really working. Okay, there's a lot of wood over there now. We got the wood floor and the wood wall. Maybe the wall needs to be different, hang on. Maybe the wall should be this color. But then we keep the kitchen paneled. Although because I made the kitchen smaller, maybe that needs to go there. I think also like a little table or something there would be good, but I guess we've been out of budget for a while, so I don't want to push the budget even further. And actually maybe now this, because I did actually do this as a green originally, but maybe now I can't, not that green. I like that one. Okay, then maybe behind the bed. Maybe not green, so we don't do the same one. We could do the blue, maybe. And then instead of having the lighter color on the other walls, have the more beige color. Whoa, that really blends together. Does this have a nice blue? Like maybe the gray, it's kind of a gray blue. Okay, it's something. It's definitely something. Okay, well, I think it's a heck of a lot better than the original Nookstone, so that is good. All right, well, moving outside, I think I'm happy with that for the inside. Look, I would love to do more, but we will try to stick to 11,500. Granted, a lot of that budget is this computer. And if I got like rid of the stuff in this room, then we are at the budget. So it's just that extra room there, which I think is probably worth it because a lot of you guys I've seen say you wish the starter homes would have like computers and TVs and all that kind of stuff that you, as when you're starting out in Sims, you kind of need. Like it just makes it a lot easier to have that stuff already. And you can still afford this. It's not like a single Sim wouldn't be able to afford this anyway. So I think that's fine. All right, so outside, I am going to use, as always, live edit landscaping, so it's free. And of course, I'm using the better build by mod to just easily get to it, but you can get to this without a mod. So then we can get these same sort of bushes we had earlier, but these ones are free. So it doesn't have all of our plants for free. Like I would love these, but I don't know if there's a free version unless it's in a different category. Oh wait, no, hang on. Oh wait, that's massive. I mean, I guess it's okay. I can just scale it down. Oh, it does have a big shadow on it though. See how when I scale it down, it's got the big shadow. I don't know if I like that. But all these kind of plants here are good for the desert. So we'll still get a few of them around. I mean, look, this lot doesn't need that much because it's not a huge area. Whoa, that's big. It's not a huge area, so we won't go overboard with it. You can see that's actually the same plant just there. Maybe one of these over there. Could maybe just add like a palm tree. I feel like that adds a little bit of a vibe. Yeah, nice. Okay, actually, the other thing we don't have that the original did have was exterior lighting, which look, I think does make sense to have it. So I might use a little bit more budget to get a light there. And one, especially out the front. The front probably needs it. I think I might do it on the side, actually, up there. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. I don't know if I like the mailbox there, though. I think it should probably be here. I mean, it was originally at the front, which I think also makes sense. I think it was over here, right? Maybe it makes more sense just out there. Yeah, get it out of the way. It kind of felt a little bit crowded. I put it there before I extended the roof, so I think I'll leave it over here. Okay, so we're at 12,800, which is, like I said, 1,000 over that budget, but I do think it's worth it. I don't love the sort of trim of the roof there that we can see, but do these do cost money, which is kind of annoying. I could do a gray trim there just to cover that little bit, though it doesn't like fully match because obviously if you rotate, that's shiny, that one's not, but I think maybe that helps because that's it without and then with. I think with definitely makes more sense, so maybe we'll do that. Now the roof trim, it's been sitting there the entire time. I haven't touched it, just a white, but I'm wondering what if we went to the wood color? No, not that color. Like that wood color, so it sort of matches the house. I think that is better. I do wish that the windows weren't the gray, but I think we just kind of have to go with that. I think it works. Okay, I think that looks much better than what it did, and it's still pretty affordable. Look, you got to keep in mind that this is on we spent 12,800 and kept relatively the same floor plan. Obviously, the kitchen shifted a little bit, just along to this wall and a little bit smaller. We moved the living room from over here to over here. We moved the double bedroom from here to there, and we just enclosed this area to make more bedrooms. Like, so we can have 2 bedrooms, or like I've set it up as like a home office, which I think is a pretty good idea. Because then it's easily expandable to 2 bedrooms. And we changed obviously all the colors. We added the fake stone pillar thing that mid-century homes seem to have. Although I think, well, actually, no, not even. I was going to say they would be chimneys, but they weren't always. They're also just decorative. So in this case, obviously it's decorative. There's nothing there. So yeah, if you did want to make it a little cheaper to match that exact same budget, you just get rid of that picture I would get rid of first. And then like the computer, and then we're only $200 above it at this point. So you could either just get rid of the desk in there, and then this is the exact same budget as the original house. We're just getting rid of those few things. It's mostly the computer, which like I said, I think is probably worth it. But if you put those back, then it does technically go over that original budget, but I think it works quite well. Anyway, should we compare this to the original to see what it looked like? All right, yeah. Yeah, going back to the original, sometimes when I'm building, and you get really into it and it's been a while, you're not so sure anymore. But yeah, I definitely think the improvements we made look better than this original. I mean, right away, something that would have made this way better in the original, if they changed nothing else, is just the wall height. I think that makes such a big difference. I guess pun not intended there. But yeah, just reducing the wall height makes it look way better because it just looks too big like this with not much going on the walls. All the walls are blank. We got little windows on the back. And I think it's just because in 2014, when the game came out, this wall height option was brand new. Like no previous Sims game had that. Sure, in Sims 2 and 3, you could change the height of walls, but it was very complicated, needed to use cheats, and not a lot of players did it. So having this super simple control was brand new. And I think that's probably why they used it a lot. And then, oh my gosh, yeah, going inside, it's a little drab. The lighting is very dim. Everything is very gray and white. And look, it does feel like a James Turner build, I'm going to be honest, with the gray and the white, the black and white styling. But other than that, yeah, it's a little sad. I mean, the one thing it does have going for it is so cheap that when you move in here, you have so much extra money to sort of make it over. But you don't always want to do that. Sometimes you want to move into a cheap house and then use that money on, in this case, a computer, which is, we already did that in our sort of makeover, our refresh. But you know, that kind of stuff. But this house, you kind of need to change it because I don't know. Have you guys ever moved into this house and just like been happy with it? My problem is my biggest problem is just that it's so dark. I at the very least in this house would always just add more lights because it's just so dark. Like that instantly is better. Although I feel like adding more lights into this house kind of exposes more problems, like the colors and all that. Not great. Anyway, that's the original. Yeah, around the back. We also have the big hole sort of up there. Now, let's see if the new version, if I'm still happy with it. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You know, like I was saying before, sometimes it's hard to tell. Because, like, obviously we're on such a tight budget here. There's so much more I want to do, but you can't. And then it kind of leaves me in a spot where I feel like it doesn't look that good. But I think this does look good. Maybe not that good, because it's still a starter home. It's still $12,800 plus the lot value will be, I think, just over $14,000. So look, it's still very cheap. And if you move in with a single sim, you'll have like just over 5,000 simoleons to add more stuff if you want to. But I already think from the outside, I think the colors look a lot better. The lower walls make it feel the right scale for the budget. And the big windows, which, look, they didn't have these windows. I used a lot of stuff that they've added to base game since 2014. So they couldn't have even done some of this stuff if they wanted to. Like all these glass walls didn't exist. The other stuff that's been added over the years was this wardrobe. Actually, this floor tile, which was the blue concrete that they had, this used to only be this one color. So they added these other ones over time. And actually these bedroom doors, those were added in an update. This color for the kitchen cabinets was added in an update. Probably other stuff too, I'm not sure. Trying to see. Oh, yeah, of course, that picture that we added. But yeah, anyway, so this is a little bit more expensive, but if you wanted this to stay true, like with these refreshes, like I said, I'm trying to use the same budget and the same sort of scale of house when we refresh them. So it sort of is a natural drop-in replacement without having to change how you start the game. However, you know, this is over budget, but an easy way, if you want to get it to the exact same budget, just remove that painting and then remove the office desk and chair. And we are at the exact same price pretty much. And then this has the same stuff that the last house did. So I've just added in those things because I think it, well, first of all, it just makes it look a little bit nicer. But then this also just makes it more functional. And you're probably going to add this anyway. So I think that makes sense. And then, yeah, just I think the colors in general, I much prefer it. And the brightness, it's just so much lighter. There's so much more light in here. But yeah, there you go. That's the Nookstone refresh. Should we have a look at some before and after pictures? So I took the photos in the same spot. So this is before, that's after. Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. Like I said, I think that height makes a huge difference there. And then also the colors just feel more rich. Like, whereas this blend, this is the exact same problem that happened to the starter home I built in Mount Komorebi, where the color, the beige of the walls and that is blending in too much to the surrounding, and I don't think it looks great. Whereas this has more of a contrast from the actual floor, the texture. So we've got the richer wood and then got the stone that's a different color stone, so I think it stands out a bit more and looks a little bit nicer. And then from this angle, same kind of thing. We can kind of see on that side wall here, we got a lot more going on. And actually just adding the extra bushes too helps out a lot. Which, to be fair, they did not have the ability to add these debug bushes back in 2014. That was added in an update for live edit objects. I can't remember when, but it was a little while ago now. And then we've got the back area. So we've got the back patio area, not a lot going on. I mean, look, there's not a lot going on now either, but it does look a little bit more inviting, more glass. You can actually see out from the living room now, whereas it was a little bit closed in before. And then, oh, the interior, the layout. So the layout, very similar. In terms of like the actual, the bathroom, I didn't even touch the bathroom at all. I did remove this light, just because this light provides more. And of course, we made everything look a lot brighter. We moved our living room from up there down over to here. Dining from just that little spot to here. So it's sort of more just in the space. And then the kitchen is pretty similar. It's actually all the same stuff. I did remove one kitchen counter, but we just moved the fridge to this side basically. And then the sink moved with us. And the stove moved over a little bit, but that's kind of it. And then, of course, this area was turned into an office, and we sort of enclosed this space. And then from this angle as well, we can kind of see that same sort of thing. So yeah, there you go. And of course, if it wasn't obvious, this is all base game only. So you can download this anywhere. It'll be on my gallery profile, James Turner YT, or you can download it from my website, which will be linked down below. So thank you so much to my top level members for supporting the channel, and thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to do some more of these base game refreshes because it is a fun challenge making the same house with the same budget and same requirements look a lot nicer. Look, obviously looking nice is subjective, but I think even if this isn't exactly your style, we can probably agree it looks better than the original. Although I imagine there's gonna be some contrarian in the comments saying that the original was better. And look, that's fine. That's fine. If you like the original, go for it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Make sure to leave your comments and suggestions down below and have an awesome day.